Tamo junto, SF. How is your quarantine going? Mine is okay, I'm trying to stay happy, play music, talk to my friends. Pra você que está aí no Brasil, estamos aqui, ó, de volta. Tamo junto, SF. Num oferecimento de Brasil Best. Pra você que lê as notícias da BR, Brasil Best Media. Cola lá. Hoje, o nosso convidado especial é Will Magid. Will Magid, everyone. Local music producer, virtuoso, and the leader of the band. Balkan Bump. We're gonna call Will in just a few minutes. Olá, Thaís Marie. Você tá por onde, mulher? Tá nas Europa? Look at Goyo joining us tonight. Hey, Goyo, we're gonna be talking to Mr. Will Magid. You're gonna like this one. Tonight, we're going to be talking with Will Magid. Hi, Emily. How's it going? Tonight, we're talking to Will Magid from Balkan Bump. How's everyone doing? I hope you're having a good quarantine. My special guest tonight, Mr. Will Magid, is going to be talking about his newest project, Balkan Bump. He's a trumpet player, producer, ethnomusicologist, and I want to ask him what's this thing all about. Balkan Bump debuted the single Amo alongside superstar collaborators as Grammatic, Talib Kweli, and he had his whole headline tour ready to roll when this coronavirus hit, and he had to cancel lots of his gigs, and he's been doing a great live streaming party today at 12 p.m. He did the Global Beats Sunday, and it was super fun. Let me call Will right here. We're gonna call this guy and start this chat.
Hello,
Mr. Will Magid. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Are we live on the show now?
Yes, absolutely live.
Oh my God. What's up, everybody? What's up, worldwide?
We got a few fellas from Brazil, so every once in a while I'll be dropping some Portuguese here and there, so don't be surprised. And yesterday we talked to our buddy Javi Jimenez from the band Barrio Manouche, and we spoke Spanish the whole night. And I've been rehearsing this conversation with you for months now, and we finally get a chance to actually talk and this whole craziness is going on. Um, how are you doing? And please introduce yourself to our fellas online.
Yeah. Well, my name is Will Magid. I go by the producer slash performer named Balkan Bump, and it basically, explores Balkan music with electronic dance music. And I'm doing well, man. I'm loving this yellow hoodie you got on. What does it say?
Oh
I
yeah,
love.
I
What do you
love
love?
Bailey Funk.
Oh yeah, I'm digging that, man. I'm loving this vibe, dude. Got
Right
these
on. You like my
turntables.
glasses too?
I love it,
It's
dude.
got some gradient going on. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. I'm trying to stay positive and super happy over all this craziness. And this is a great excuse for me to call my friends, catch up, and listen into some dope music.
Totally. No, I know it's so funny you mentioned that, Paulo, I love that. Paulo and I have been trying to connect and get together for God about a month now. And some people are just kind of calling this like the grand pause, Now we have all this time. It's kind of
Yes,
honestly, dude, it's kind of like there's a lot of blessings here right now. I mean,
indeed. I have been talking to, well, most of my friends uh, are musicians, artists, people involved in theater, and we have been sharing this realization that this time is so productive and has been so revealing for all of us, and we're staying creative through the process and trying to understand what the outcomes will be. Uh, but let me just jump right into Will Magid music and
oh, sure.
also Balkan Bump. You were ready and geared up to your first headline tour before this all hit the fan. Um,
Yeah,
let's rewind a little bit and talk about what the tour was going to be before
absolutely.
the whole shenanigans.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it was kind of like a breakthrough moment for me. I think for people that maybe just found out about the Balkan Bump project a year or two ago, like saw this project kind of come out of nowhere, and like maybe it seems like a really breakthrough, quick success or something. But the reality is, like, I've been, working really hard doing music full time for, gosh, 7, 8 years now. I mean, and I've been working really slowly, working really hard, and like just building, 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 and like eventually I put out some music that got a label, got a management deal, led to collaborations with Beats Antique, with Closey, with Grammatic, with the Geek VRV, with all these legendary artists like Talib Kweli. And I just got the opportunity where this great booking agent, my manager, were like, let's do this headline tour, and promoters around the country were booking me, giving decent guarantees. The tickets were selling quite well, actually, to my surprise, to some degree, because it's
That's
always
nice.
scary.
Man, it is
It's always
scary.
scary, doing headline shows, especially when you have to travel out of town. There's nothing worse than like, you know, going across the whole country to a show in like, Tennessee and having like three people show up. I mean, every musician's been there before.
Yeah, absolutely. But
But
I the last time I met you, actually, we were both at the Fox Theater. You were
right,
opening for Grammatic, right? And
right,
you also
exactly.
sat in for a couple of tunes, and that's when you told me about the upcoming tour, and then the rickshaw stop, which would be the first date.
It
But
would have been the first day. Yeah.
yeah, and even though the show was canceled, you still went there and shot a video, correct?
Yeah. So, it was just, it's crazy. I mean, I think everyone listening can relate, like how the timeline to us all, uh, you know, being quarantined in our homes, basically, like how quickly that happened. But at the same time, like how it was a little bit of a slow boil because like, I don't know, like I mean, it feels like an eternity ago, but it was basically like, um, 3.5 weeks ago when we all like voted in the primary election. You know, like this has all happened really quickly. It's crazy. And basically, I canceled that show before there was any regulation on canceling events. I was reading the news, talking to doctors, and I'm like, man, you know, this is not a good idea to do now. This is when venues, I mean, the Fox Theater was doing shows that night.
Yep.
You know,
I did
I
my
mean,
last one with Kane. It was on the 12th, I think.
yeah, that same, or maybe it was 2 days before. Maybe, you know, by the time I canceled that show while events were still happening, and it was a trippy thing because um, I actually had to like pay a penalty basically because like as an artist I canceled. It wasn't like I wasn't forced to cancel. I decided to cancel the show.
That's
Um,
how conscious you were already at that time. But
yeah,
the video came out great, and
yeah. So check this out. Yeah, I mean, what happened is like the rickshaw stuff was awesome, and they're like, you know, instead of like technically it's true I was supposed to pay a cancellation fee. They're like, you know, instead of paying this cancellation fee, like, you know, I talked to them and I'm like, could we just like apply it to like having the sound person and having the lighting person be there? We did our best to do the performance. This was like a little over 2 weeks ago. Before there were any quarantine measures, you know, we did our best to like, you know, keep 6 feet apart on stage, and
right.
everyone, you know, we had a lot of. It was kind of like the last moment when you still could like do something social in like a safe way, you know,
Yeah.
like as far as like the way the public was understanding what was happening, like you could get together with 5 people and keep 6 feet apart, and that was like kind of okay. So I'm so happy we did that. I mean,
Yeah, that's so
we were
cool.
safe
And
as we could, and we filmed the show. You know,
I would love to share a little bit of that audio with our folks here.
absolutely.
Osmanity Tour is the name of the tour, but the tune that you released online this week, what's the tune called?
The tune that I released this week online. I'm not actually. I don't know if I did release a song this week. Did I?
The video
Damn.
that you shot
Oh,
at
the
the
video.
rickshaw.
Of course. Yeah. So in that video, in the full length video, I think I did like 5 songs. I think were you gonna play Varshavar? Is that the one you were gonna do? I forget.
Let me give you just 1 second, and then you tell me the name of it.
Okay, cool.
It's the one you start solo with your.
Ed or Lizzie.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So
yeah. So yeah.
just to throw this out there, let's listen to some music, and then I want to come back and we talk about musical influences and how you became a ethnomusicologist, which brings a lot of different influences from around the world. All right,
absolutely.
All right, guys. So Balkan Bump. My guest tonight is Will Magid. We're going to listen to some global beats and live performers on stage. We'll be right back. Happy quarantine, everyone. Our guest tonight, Will Magid.
Let's go. just put a sock in it. Sock puppets non-stop and nothing, so they might get it. Hated what they can't understand, they illiterate. The truth is my proof, I ain't gotta be considerate. Nah, feelings ain't really my concern. Want a slow burn, pressure love, try pulling up, it'll be your turn. No sir, never any competition. Go first, try to test us, or just stop bitching. Stop bitching. Let's go. Feel the beat set to me, courtesy of Will Magid. Killing all these fucking Philistines that kill my feet. Still a king, chopping off their head like a guillotine. Still a queen, now she not your lover like Billie Jean. So impressive with delivering my message. I don't need your respect, I don't beg for acceptance, cause I take what I need. I never ask for permission, making classic records, nigga, class in session. Let's go.
Are we back? Yes. Do you hear me well?
Yes, I do.
Cool. So this last song then you wrote down on the comments, it's called Ederledzi.
Yeah. So the intro that we did, and that was myself on trumpet and Morgan Nielsen on clarinet. Just the two of us. Yeah, it's an old folk song from the Balkans called Ederledzi. It's a Roma.
Let me ask you this thing. You're a Bay Area kid, huh? Born and raised?
Yeah. Pretty much. I've pretty much lived in the Bay Area, a little bit in LA and a little bit in West Africa, but mostly the Bay Area.
Oh, right on. You lived in West Africa. And how did Balkan got into your musical spectrum?
Honestly, man, I heard some Balkan music when I was studying ethnomusicology in college, and I just fell in love immediately. I mean, I heard just the sounds of these trumpets and the sounds of these vocals and clarinets and drums and the festivity of the communities playing these ancient folk songs with just passion and virtuosity. And I just like, it just like, I got a bug, it just like, it got in my soul, and like I've been obsessed with it ever since. And then there was a great Balkan brass band in the Bay Area called Inspector Gadget. that welcomed me as a trumpet player in the band, and I've learned so much from playing in that group. And we've gotten to play with some very legendary like musicians from the Balkans. And man, it's just one of those things. Growing up, I never knew about that music, and I heard it. I got the bug, and a lot of it connects to like my background. Like my dad's family is all from Eastern Europe, and Jews from Eastern Europe, and there's a lot of overlap, I would say, in klezmer and Balkan music. So I think immediately I heard a little bit of myself in the music, but also this other
right on
this other depth, that I wanted to explore.
And dude, this major you picked in college, it's pretty amazing. Ethnomusicologist. So you got exposed to folk music from around the world, and that became kind of your field of study, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's kind of like, ethnomusicology is pretty much like, it's like anthropology and music. So like where, a music historian might ask like what music is that? Or when was that music from? ethnomusicologists tend to ask like, why does this music exist? And it looks deeply into like the role that music plays in different cultures around the world, and through time, looking at how humans have evolved with music. So it does kind of naturally lend itself to learning about traditions from different parts of the world.
That's
Because
amazing,
music
man.
is such and so it kind of follows the path of humanity through music.
Absolutely. We learn a lot about humanity and the behavior of times through music. And when so let me try to frame this. You were classically trained in trumpet, right?
Yeah, I mean, classical might be a stretch. I mean, I grew up playing jazz and funk
Right
and
on. And then
blues.
you joined bands of different backgrounds. And when did the electronic music become a thing for you? Because now it's real. It's really awesome to see your live performances with the musicians interacting such organically with the electronic elements. When did you get involved with the beats and stuff?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, when I was in I mean, so I've always been making electronic music and beats. I mean, one of my first musical memories before I even played trumpet, um, God, when I was like 7 or so, was like having a Casio keyboard, that had like it had a little beat machine in it.
Hell yeah!
They had pre-programmed beats, and you could like slide the tempo and like have it be like, oh, this is a calypso beat at 100 BPM, and then like, you could like I remember I could record like my own bass line and loop it, and do all this fun stuff. And um, I did a talent show at my elementary school, like with that keyboard. I remember, and so and then GarageBand came out, and I was making beats in GarageBand, but I never really performed, um, electronic music, you could say, until college. Basically, I started getting really deep into Ableton Live, and did some house parties and produced music in college, and then really after college, it really blossomed.
So
So
when you joined Inspector Gadget and you started learning more about Balkan, you would bring these influences, go back home, and start producing a bunch of tracks on your own. Well, how was that
yeah, yeah,
production
exactly.
process?
No, I remember exactly what happened. I mean, the birth of Balkan Bump was basically exactly what you said. After an Inspector Gadget rehearsal, Paul Bertin, who's an amazing sax player now living in France, was in the band, and the two of us, we were like jamming off of this one song called Earphone, that Inspector Gadget was playing, and we were just like, man, this would be really cool with like a trap beat. This was like right when trap was kind of coming up. Like when the Harlem Shake was like blowing up and all that. Like, I don't know, 4 years ago.
Right.
And it was like, man, this would work really well because the melodies in the Balkan music is like the speed of them and the bounce of them is very similar to the hi-hats in trap music. The melodies like, it's very similar. So that night I made the beat Earphone, and then the next day he came into the studio and laid down the sax, and that was the very first Balkan Bump track.
Right on, man. I can tell you that Kusturica would be really proud of you. Have you watched some Kusturica movies? You know this movie director?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I
He
have.
he always has a Balkan a band during the movie scenes, going around doing crazy stuff. And let me jump into the band and the way you're formatting the show now. So you do have a pretty solid Ableton Live setup. You play the trumpet, and you have Morgan playing the clarinet, and you also have a drummer live. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. So my friend Lise is playing drums, and then Teddy Raven's playing sax, and then I'm also playing some keyboard and trumpet now.
And
Um,
how many records you got out? Or I heard a couple of different ones at Spotify.
yeah, it's a good question. So, just Will Magid as a solo, just me personally. Um, like a lot of musicians, I've had a lot of projects that I've been involved with.
Absolutely. No, I can.
But I put out like I had an Afrobeat band in college that put out an EP called Pangea Collective, and then I put out an EP under Will Magid, and then a full length record called Alligator Spacewalk. And then
Alligator Spacewalk. That's the one I listen to.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's probably my favorite record that I've made. And then I put out another record, kind of a secret Alligator Spacewalk record that is online, but it's only under the artist Alligator Spacewalk. So like no one's listened to it. But it's a full length record called the Lunar Conquest Suite. And it's pretty dope. Like my friend Teddy Raven, who's playing sax with Balkan Bump, composed all this music based off of like the lunar lunar conquest. So it's all about like the Soviet U.S. like lunar pursuit in the culminating with the moon landing. It's a pretty dope record.
Wow,
actually.
like it's a freaking odyssey, man. Like,
yeah.
All right, I would love to play some music from Alligator Spacewalk.
Oh, sure.
You told me to pick my favorite, and I picked Sweet Something. Here we
Nice.
go. Will Magid, Alligator Spacewalk is the name of the album. Sweet Something is the track we're going to listen to right now. Good evening, everyone. I hope your quarantine is well. Stay home, stay safe, and activate your mind. Atenção, você do Brasil, se você está sintonizando o nosso show agora, estamos ao vivo, tamo junto, SF, com o nosso convidado especial da noite, Will Magid. Hey. So we're back here with Will Magid. Let me just quickly acknowledge as pessoas do Brasil que estão aí sintonizadas no nosso querido Tamo Junto SF. Raúl Vargas, mi amigo, que está entrando ahorita. Muchas gracias. Estamos aquí juntos con Will Magid, que está hablando más de Balkan Bump in the Osmanity Tour as well. Will, have you started having fun about how to rearrange Osmanity Tour, or you're still waiting for everything to be kind of back to somewhat of a normality to start talking about dates and stuff?
Yeah, that's it's it's a question on everyone's mind. I think like that's in the live event space, right? To be totally honest with you, like my booking agent is rescheduling all the shows right now, and working with promoters and talent buyers around the country to reschedule. I'm like that tour is ready to go. Like I rehearsed it, I have it all ready. Like I'm ready to jump into that tour whenever it happens. But I'm personally kind of like more focused right now on like transitioning more of what I'm doing online. Like, I'm doing a weekly global dance party on Sundays. Did the first one today.
That was nice.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it was cool. Like I totally did it last minute. I thought it might be like 50 people or something, but it ended up like, I don't know, there was like over 5,000 people ended up watching it or something. Just nuts. So I'm going to be doing that on Sundays. I'm also going to launch like a music production and DJing private lesson studio next week. So I'm hoping to get like 10 students doing weekly lessons. And I'm actually kind of excited about this, honestly. Like, I mean, I like touring. Don't get me wrong. I love playing at beautiful venues around the country. But if I can make a career having creative impact and like affecting people and connecting with people, without having to jump on airplanes and drive across the country and do all this stuff, I honestly like there's aspects of this, I think, that are going to permanently affect the music economy in good ways.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's forcing people to think out of the box.
Yeah. And more of my mind, I would say, is focused on that. Like what is like, a friend was calling it the fourth industrial revolution that we're experiencing right now. This is pushing, technology like automation and AI. It's pushing technology like live streaming, all these things that like VR, all these things that were kind of like in development that society wasn't quite adapting to fully. Like these are pushing everything to the forefront. So now the people I think that are focused on that are going to excel in this economic reality. And folks that are like, oh, when can I get my tour back going? May not see a how do I put it?
It's almost like a waste of time to be, pushing something that might not necessarily happen sooner than later, and not use that time creatively as you've been, shooting different directions and creating new channels to get the word and the music out. Yeah,
I mean that's kind of how I feel about it personally. I mean, like I said, I'm ready to go on tour. I'm ready to, people around the country like bought tickets to these shows, and I'm ready to do them whenever that makes sense to do it. But I'm not getting too concerned with like whether that's, a month from now, 2 months from now, or 6 months from now, or a year from now. Like I'm really like whenever it seems safe to do it, like I'm ready to go, but I'm not tripping about it. I also have to say that I'm extremely fortunate to have, savings. A lot of musicians like need that work right now. I'm very fortunate to be able to take this break. I mean, I had a song in a Super Bowl ad just a few months back that like basically was like a year of touring revenue. So it's bizarre circumstances for me that I'm able to like have this headspace, honestly. So I mean, if
That's
you're out
cool,
there and you
man.
have,
Yeah, it's
yeah, if you're out there and you have some income and you love live music and you love musicians and you love DJs, like now is such a good time to support them financially. You know, if someone's doing a live stream like this, like, and they have a virtual tip bucket, like
Oh
now's the
yeah,
time
we're gonna
because
put
like,
it
dude,
on right now because
it's beautiful.
I am out of work. I'm also kind of fortunate to be comfortable here at home. My lady's pregnant.
Oh my God.
We're gonna have a baby in June. We're
Holy
still
shit.
working this whole thing out, and the idea of the show came from the need to keep connecting with my friends, and it's unfolding to interesting places. I'm gonna be doing a full day live with the Solano County very soon for the Census Day that's coming up. My friend Erica Erickson works for a nonprofit that's putting this together. That's gonna be super fun. So we're all like making it happen. It's almost like it's magical how things unfold when you decide to be flexible and allow yourself to have it happen to you.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I'm so proud of you, man. Congratulations on the baby coming
Woo
out.
woo. I know it's gonna be a crazy world for this little one, man.
Dude, the baby's not gonna give a fuck. Can I say that word?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah,
I feel the same way. Well, let's throw some more music on this, people. How
sounds
about
great.
Varshaver?
For sure, yeah, that'd
Can
be
you
great. Yeah, so that
talk a little bit about Varshaver before we play it?
sure, yeah. So this is also this is actually like an old, really old klezmer song that I learned from a friend named Peter Jakes, who kind of flipped the tune into like this Turkish arrangement with a band called MWE that he has or had. And I love the way that they played that tune. It was like slower and jammy and kind of similar to what I was saying before. Like I'm like, man, it'd be cool if I made like an electronic verse. So I partnered up with my friend Closey, who's a amazing French producer and DJ. If you haven't checked her out, um, and Closey this kind of modern version of this. Like honestly, it's pretty ancient song, a klezmer melody that we kind of deconstruct and reconstruct as the piece
That's cool, man.
develops.
Recycling good old stuff to make it modern and relevant. We're here
Yeah.
with Will Magid. We're gonna play Varshaver, Balkan Bump. We'll be right back. Guys, if you feel tipsy tonight, tips are welcome. Get in there at Brasilectro on Vemo. I'm having a baby. Let's do this. This is Tamo Junto SF. We're here tonight with Will Magid. Esse show é um oferecimento de Brasil Best Media. Brasil Best Media deixa você informadinho sobre tudo que tá rolando na comunidade brasileira na Bay Area, viu? Se você não tá ligado, fique ligado. So yeah, this show is brought to you by Brasil Best Media. It's our partner Celso Braz that gives support for me to keep doing what I'm doing and keep spreading the information and the art scene in the Bay Area beyond the walls of the Brazilian community. Let's call Will one more time here because this conversation is awesome.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, here we are back into the show. Hey, Varshaver then has this klezmer element to it. You know that we play in a forró band, right? Which is kind of Brazilian folk music from the Northeast, accordion based. And our accordion player, Diana Strong, she totally came from the klezmer scene, which is actually pretty healthy in San Francisco. We have Duigu Gun also here with us, and she's part of it. How does klezmer and Balkan relate? Asking the musicologist.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And I there definitely are like experts, who've gotten their PhDs in this type of work, but I can definitely give you like the little knowledge that I have, which is basically when you think of that region, when you think of the Balkans and God, most people think of most recently, Serbia, Macedonia, these countries that were part of Yugoslavia basically, and then when Yugoslavia broke up, they all became independent countries. But before that, it was part of the Ottoman Empire, most of these countries. And before that, a lot of it was part of the Byzantine Empire. And during these different times, Jews basically have been forced to migrate, you could say. Right. They were in Spain, and then the Moors forced them out, and then a lot of them ended up going to Eastern Europe in the Byzantine Empire, and then when the Ottoman Empire came, a lot of them got kicked out. So historically speaking, there have been a lot of Jews in that region, picking up on a lot of the same influences that you hear in Balkan music. I mean, Balkans are just a geographic region, right? That a lot of different ethnic groups live in and have lived in. For me, the most influential, I would say, group of people is the Roma people, the Romani people, who, are often called gypsies, which is a bit of a pejorative term. It's often used as a slang, like you gyp someone out of money, et cetera. So it's a term I actually avoid using. I prefer using the term Roma folk, Roma people. And to me, that's like the heart and soul of so much of Balkan music comes from the Roma people, because this is an ethnic group that migrated likely from northern India and went all through the Middle East through Turkey, modern day Turkey, through the Balkans, and have spread all the music that they've found on these travels. And Jewish people have done a similar thing over the centuries, you could say.
Absolutely, they keep on running, man.
Yeah, they keep on running, exactly. So there's a lot of overlap, and the truth is, like, another thing is, like, during World War II, Roma people were put in concentration camps alongside Jews, and there was a lot of undocumented musical collaborations happening in that time period between Roma and Balkan musicians and Jewish musicians. So yeah, there's always kind of been this relationship between those sounds, and it's not like there's a fine line where you're like, oh, this sounds like this is klezmer and this is Balkan music.
Copy, I feel it.
Kind of continue. you know.
And man, I just have to thank you for bringing this back up, and as you described, deconstructing, learning, and making it relevant again with a texture of electronic music, beats, and make it a party music. I know originally it was party music, but now you're introducing it to an audience that might not have any idea what Balkan or klezmer or Eastern Europe music sound like, and you're
Totally.
making it sound just right for the dance floor, which is it's an amazing thing. And if you haven't still checked out Balkan Bump's live show, I totally recommend whenever we can see that backup. Please check that out. It's a pretty amazing experience. And Will, let me throw you that one question I've been asking all my guests here. I know we've already talked a lot about this, but maybe a short answer for this one. This particular week, what has coronavirus taught you as a lesson?
Wow. The truth is, like, these are things that like, let's do like, processing. I think we're all, like, honestly, like, still processing this so much. And I've kind of, I mean, honestly, like, in the short term, like, it's really taught me, and maybe this is something that we knew all along, but, like, honestly, I've just been so busy. I've just been running so much, like, doing tours and doing recording sessions. And, like, typically I'd be, like, driving to, your house to do this interview, and then driving back, and just, like, there's so much, I have so much more time right now, and enjoying simple things, like I've started gardening. I just, I'm
Nice.
planting tomatoes, some peppers, some lavender. My partner and I have been cooking every meal together. That's something that we might have done twice a week together before, maybe, because she's in law school, and also working. So, like, we had odd schedules, and it's been really nice just to have more time at home, and cooking, and like working on the house and gardening. And, I don't know, man, it's like
That's
just
cool,
kind of
man.
going back a little bit more to, like, I don't know, like, the roots, I guess you could say. Like, I'm like, man, I kind of, like, want to be a farmer right now.
Yeah, more and more people are rediscovering the pleasures of dealing with the simple things. It's almost like we're back in the Wonderland. Speaking of Wonderland, I want to play another track from Balkan
Okay.
Bump here called Wonderland. Can you tell a short
Amazing.
story about Wonderland before I throw it
Yeah,
out there?
sure. Yeah, so this song was influenced by this amazing, great trumpet player. He's Lebanese French trumpet player named Ibrahim Malouf. He's a pretty young dude, maybe in his, like, late 30s, early 40s. And he had a song called Maiva in Wonderland. And when I heard that, I just, like, ever so often we all hear music that just blows your mind and, like, sets you on a different path. And that was one of those songs. And I guess this song is kind of an ode to his tune, a little bit, and his style. So I'll put in the description on Facebook. I'll put a link to
Please
to
do,
that
man. And
song.
thanks for helping us out here, sending all the links. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around with us through this talk. And we are on this hashtag here, Tamo Junto SF, which in Portuguese means we're together in SF. Even though we're separated, we're united. It's really a special time in our society, and I hope that everyone tries to take the best out of it. All right, Wonderland, Balkan Bump. We'll be right back. We're here tonight with Will Magid. Magid. Balkan Bump. All right. We're back with Will Magid here live to you at Tamo Junto SF. Will,
Yeah.
I'd like to do closing remarks and thank you so much. I know it would be impossible to do this with your crazy schedule. So in a way, I'm very blessed and fortunate that this is all going now in a way. So I have the time to share more knowledge with guys like yourself, and hope that we can connect sooner than later, and then finally have that coffee and see what you got in stock for us.
Yeah, beautiful. No, I'm so happy to be able to do this, man. And just, if my phone dies, I'm still here with you. But I'm on 2% right now.
I'll hold it down. So it is time to wrap for real. Will, tell me a bit more on how folks can find your work, previous work, your actual work, and other projects. Go ahead, hit it.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say like if you go to willmagid.com, I have links to like all my different projects there. Also balkanbump.com is a good place to go. For these live streams I'm doing, which I think is going to be really fun, if you go to the Balkan Bump Facebook page, it'll be every Sunday at 12 noon here in California, Pacific Standard Time. So I think that's gonna be the best place probably to stay in touch and keep, like keeping active, and like, because the real art is like in the now, right? I mean, people can listen to my records and that's awesome, but like I want to like keep creating and like keep sharing, and I want to have relevant performances that are now, so please, yeah, definitely check out my records, but I also really encourage you to jump on these live streams, and because
So the next one will be you're
a week
doing
from today.
A week from today at 12 noon, Global Beat Sunday at the Balkan Bump page, correct?
Exactly, yeah.
Cool. Wow. Thank you so much, Will. One more time. You are with Tamo Junto. How do we say this in English? If you could say it, how would you say it?
Say what?
The title of our show here.
Oh, let me see. Sorry, I'm on my. I gotta look at the text because I'm on my phone right now. How would I say this? Hold on one second. Dude, I don't even see the text. How do you spell it?
It's like Tamo, Tamo, and then Junto. It's like in Spanish, junto. So it's like
okay, junto.
Tamo Junto SF is like we're together on this. There's no way around. More than ever, we feel like we're one organism that really relies on each other to keep on going. Hope you have a nice rest of your quarantine, Will. I would like to thank everyone that dropped in, that dropped a comment. Tomorrow, I'll be interviewing Rebecca Kleiman. She's an amazing flutist, also singer. She is part of our forró band, Dona Francisca, but she also has her own records in Brazilian jazz with a taste of flamenco. It's going to be really fun. So I hope you enjoyed Tamo Junto here with us tonight. Thanks, Will Magid, one more time, and I will see you tomorrow at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. Love you all.
Love you
see
too,
you soon.
Man. Take it easy. All right, everyone. This is it for me. I hope you enjoyed. We're together. Tamo junto, SF, num oferecimento de Brasil Best Media. Visite brasilbest.com e fique sacado de todas as informações da comunidade brasileira na Bay Area. This is Paulo Prezzotto checking off. I will be seeing you all tomorrow. 8 p.m. Valeu! Obrigado de coração, Will. Até, irmão. All right, everybody.